In a small African village called Maji, there lived a girl named Nia. She was 10 years old, with bright eyes and a big smile. Nia loved to run through the dusty streets, playing with her friends and helping her family. Every morning, Nia would wake up early to help her mother fetch water from the village well. She would carry a small clay pot on her head, just like the grown-ups did. It was hard work, but Nia didn't mind. She liked feeling strong and useful. One day, as Nia was walking back from the well, she heard music coming from the village square. It was the sound of drums and singing. Nia's feet began to move on their own, tapping to the beat. She twirled around, forgetting all about the water pot on her head. Splash! The pot tipped over, spilling water all over Nia. She stood there, dripping wet and feeling silly. But then she heard laughter. It was her best friend, Kofi. "Nia, what are you doing?" Kofi giggled. "You look like a wet chicken." Nia laughed too. "I couldn't help it, Kofi. The music just made me want to dance." Kofi helped Nia clean up the spilled water. As they walked, Nia couldn't stop thinking about the music and how it made her feel. It was like magic, making her body move in ways she'd never moved before. "Do you think I could learn to dance like the grown-ups in the square?" Nia asked Kofi. Kofi shrugged. "Maybe, but don't you think dancing is silly? We have more important things to do, like helping our families." Nia frowned. She didn't think dancing was silly at all. It made her heart feel light and happy. But Kofi was right about one thing: there was a lot of work to do in the village. With a sigh, Nia picked up her empty pot and headed back to the well. As she walked, Nia made a promise to herself. She would find a way to dance, no matter what anyone thought. Little did she know, this simple wish would lead her on the biggest adventure of her life. For days after the water pot incident, Nia couldn't stop thinking about dancing. She would hum to herself while doing chores, her feet tapping out rhythms in the dust. But every time she tried to dance in front of others, she felt shy and stopped. One evening, as the sun was setting, Nia snuck away from the village. She found a small clearing in the nearby woods where no one could see her. Taking a deep breath, Nia closed her eyes and began to move. At first, her movements were stiff and awkward. But as she relaxed, Nia felt the music in her head grow louder. Her arms swayed like branches in the wind. Her feet stamped out rhythms like the village drummers. Nia spun and leaped, feeling freer than she ever had before. As Nia danced, she didn't notice the eyes watching her from the shadows. An old woman, her face wrinkled like tree bark, observed the young girl with growing interest. The woman's eyes sparkled with a strange light as she watched Nia dance. Suddenly, Nia heard a twig snap. Her eyes flew open, and she froze mid-twirl. "Who's there?" she called out, her heart racing. The old woman stepped out from behind a tree. She leaned on a gnarled walking stick and smiled at Nia. "Don't stop, child," she said in a creaky voice. "Your dance is beautiful." Nia blushed, feeling embarrassed to be caught. "I'm sorry," she mumbled. "I know I should be helping in the village instead of playing around out here." The old woman shook her head. "Never apologize for your passion, little one. Your dance is more important than you know." Nia's eyes widened. "Really? But it's just for fun." The old woman's smile grew mysterious. "Is it? Or could it be something more?" She tapped her walking stick on the ground 3 times. To Nia's amazement, colorful sparks flew from the stick, dancing in the air around them. "Who are you?" Nia gasped, watching the sparks with wonder. "I am Mama Zee," the old woman replied. "And I have been waiting a long time for someone like you, Nia." Nia's mouth fell open. "You know my name, but how?" Mama Zee chuckled. "I know many things, child. And soon, you will too. But first, you must keep dancing. Promise me you'll return here tomorrow." Before Nia could reply, Mama Zee disappeared into the shadows of the trees. Nia rubbed her eyes, wondering if she had imagined the whole thing. But the memory of the sparks dancing in the air told her it had been real. As Nia walked home, her mind buzzed with questions. Who was Mama Zee? How did she make those magical sparks? And what did she mean about Nia's dancing being important? One thing was certain, Nia would definitely be back in the clearing tomorrow. Little did she know, her next dance would change everything. The next day seemed to crawl by for Nia. She could hardly focus on her chores, her mind constantly wandering to thoughts of Mama Zee and the promise of magic. As soon as the sun began to set, Nia raced to the clearing in the woods. To her surprise, Mama Zee was already there, sitting on a fallen log. The old woman's eyes twinkled as Nia approached. You ready to learn the truth, child? She asked. Nia nodded eagerly. Yes, Mama Zee. Please tell me what's going on. Mama Zee stood up slowly, leaning on her walking stick. First, you must dance for me again. Show me what's in your heart. Although she felt a little shy, Nia closed her eyes and began to move. This time, her dance felt different. It was as if the earth itself was guiding her feet, the wind whispering rhythms in her ears. Nia twirled and leaped, losing herself in the music only she could hear. As Nia danced, something incredible happened. The air around her began to shimmer and glow. Mama Zee's walking stick pulsed with a soft light, and the old woman began to chant in a language Nia didn't understand. Suddenly, the forest around them seemed to melt away. Nia opened her eyes and gasped. She was no longer in the familiar woods near her village. Instead, she stood in a grand courtyard paved with glittering stones. Towering trees with leaves of gold and silver surrounded them, and in the distance, Nia could see a magnificent palace that seemed to be made of light itself. Welcome, Nia, Mama Zee said, her voice now strong and clear, to the hidden kingdom. Nia's eyes were as wide as full moons. Hidden kingdom? But how? Where are we? Mama Zee smiled. We are in a realm that exists alongside your world, child. A place of magic and wonder hidden from those who cannot see it. But why have you brought me here? Nia asked, still amazed by her surroundings. Because, Nia, you have a gift, Mama Zee explained. Your dance is not just movement, it is magic. You have the power to bridge the gap between your world and ours. Nia shook her head in disbelief. Me? But I'm just a village girl. I can't do magic. Oh, but you can, Mama Zee insisted. And you must. For you see, Nia, your village is in danger. A great drought is coming, one that will destroy everything you know and love. Fear gripped Nia's heart. A drought? But what can I do? Mama Zee placed a gentle hand on Nia's shoulder. You must learn to use your gift. Here, in the hidden kingdom, you will train to become a true magical dancer. Only then can you bring the rains that will save your people. Nia's mind raced with questions and doubts. Could she really learn magic? Would she be able to save her village? And how long would she have to stay in this strange, beautiful place? As if reading her thoughts, Mama Zee spoke again. The choice is yours, Nia. Will you accept this challenge? Will you become the dancer your village needs? Nia looked around at the magical kingdom, then thought of her family and friends back home. Taking a deep breath, she made her decision. I'll do it, she said, her voice shaking but determined. I'll learn to dance with magic. Mama Zee's face broke into a wide smile. Then let your training begin, young one. For the fate of two worlds now rests in your dancing feet. As Nia followed Mama Zee towards the shimmering palace, she knew her life would never be the same. A great adventure was just beginning, full of magic, danger, and the power of dance.